If everybody could gather in a little closer, we'll get this groundbreaking started. It's great to see the kids here. That's what this is all about. Well, anyhow, I'm going to kick it off. I'm Daryl Faber, and I'm the Director of Parks, Arts, and Recreation, and I'm going to be joined by the mayor and a few others up here in just a second. But this is really an exciting day, and I might as well take credit for the weather because I don't deserve a lot of credit for the idea behind this. But this is going to be an amazing project, and to see the chamber here and the service clubs here and the businesses here, this is going to be the most outstanding playground and sensory garden anywhere. I would say the region, but I'm going to say probably west of the Mississippi. This is going to be an amazing project, and people are going to come to Auburn because they hear about this playground, and you're talking about 30,000 square feet of interactive opportunity where kids can climb on boulders, play on logs, slide on slides. Imagine standing here, this is going to get mounded up about 5 feet on Mount Rainier, and looking out to the right at the Green River and the left at the White River, where the concrete walkway is textured stone like the rock of the river, where poured-in-place surfacing makes it safe for all kids, where there's no bridges or structures where a child in a wheelchair can't go up or down. We're using the earth to our advantage like we were intended to do all along. That's what's going to be happening here. Sand and water mixing where kids can make an old mud pie like we did as children. It's going to be unbelievable, the opportunities here. A place for texture, whether it's a sharp plant or maybe a sharp rock, something soft in a plant or in a texture, sound, voices. It's going to be wonderful. And in June, we hope the weather holds that we have it done on Kids Day, which is a great day to bring it in. But thanks everybody for coming. I'm going to turn this over to the mayor, who's going to introduce some folks. But first I'm going to introduce, we have Greg Dobbs, Michael Hassan, and John Webley. Each are here from the park board. They've seen this project numerous times and are great supporters of it, as is the council that the mayor will mention in a minute. And there were also two committees that were really important. First, I don't know which one's more important, but the fundraising committee. This is about a $400,000 to $500,000 project that we are doing, I'd say almost 100% on grants and donations. And that's outstanding. We have two groups here. Suzette Hart in front here. She's with the Northwest Parks Foundation. Big supporters of this project. We're funneling a lot of our money through them for the use of the 501c3 that they are. So we really appreciate, Suzette, you and your group. And we also have Butch Lovelace here somewhere. Where's Butch? Right in front. He's with King County, and he coordinates the King County Youth Sports Grant Program, who granted $70,000 for this project. That's amazing. Thank you, Butch, to you and your program. They typically are funding ball field improvements, tennis courts, all great things, but not often does a playground come through in a youth sports category. So it really shows that the cooperation of kids right here at age 2 and 3 on a playground is going to affect them through their whole life. And I'm proud to have you guys on board as a partner in this. So back to the fundraising. Lynn Norman chaired that group. Terry Davis from Comcast is here. Linda Cowan from the school district. Trish Borden from Trillium. Nancy Colson from Windermere and Cheryl Workman from Windermere. Brian Williams from the Auburn Police Department, but he also reached way out into the community. And Laura Hitchen was the park board member. And then there was a separate group of people representing the design committee, people who had experience in working with children with autism, or perhaps they had experience with kids who are in wheelchairs and other disabilities. And so we had a great group of that too, with Rhonda Larson. She's the Assistant Director of Student Services for the school district. Julie Herron, Christine Buell, she's an occupational therapist. Nancy Johnson and Angie Norman, physical therapists. And Landon Gallion, over here on our right, he's a student who has really helped out as well, who's been on a few playgrounds in his life. So thanks, Landon, for your help. So that's the two committees that made this happen, one with fundraising and one with design. And this is the biggest groundbreaking in history, as the SEPA ended on Friday, so we got out here at 8 o'clock today to get started on the project. So we got to get this thing done. So Mayor Lewis, a huge supporter of this, is going to introduce a few of the others.
You know, this has been a citywide project, a citywide partnership that has gone so well together. What has surprised me is how quickly this has gone. And I did want to introduce our council members and some others as well. And I wanted to start off with Council Member Rich Wagner. and Lynn Norman, Bill Pelosa, our Deputy Mayor, Sue Singer, John Partridge, Virginia Haugen, and a couple more as well, because I remember working with them for a long time on work like this. Trish Borden is out there, and I wanted to recognize her because I saw her in the first efforts. And quite frankly, she taught me some of the things that we should do along with the things that we must do. And Roger Thordarson. Roger? This has been a cooperative effort on the part of our city. I look around this area and I see the Chamber of Commerce, the business community, Green River Community College, the school district, the neighborhoods, Valley Regional Fire Authority, Police Department, all our departments, service clubs. I see Rotary, Kiwanis, Serotomus, Lions, of course, Toastmaster, all of our service clubs are here, and I thank you all for all you've done, as well as people that are in this neighborhood that will be benefiting from this. This is a part of the plan that the city, the community, the city council has been working on for years. You've seen the spray park and the partnerships that we had. And now we have this addition to Les Gove and the partnership that we're doing. Soon, right over here, you'll see another building going up as we have an activity center, a facility, a gym that can be used by our seniors during the day, our teens at night, as that starts construction here in the next couple of months. Not long after, just next year, our community center starts to go up, and it's because of the support of the city council and all of our community groups that have done this. In this particular case, we had one individual who really brought it home because of our commitment by the council to not just work in the city, but also be a part of county, regional, and even national partnerships. They continue to bring home programs to us, and they brought one home again. And the leader in this effort that has been responsible in good part for seeing this go through so quickly is Councilmember Lynn Norman. Councilmember Norman, would you please come forward?
Thank you everyone for being here today, and as Daryl took credit for the sunshine, I need to remind him that if you take credit for the sun, you have to take blame for the rain, Daryl. So, and he's done that a few times. He's a good sport about it.
Coming up, it rains every
okay, well, we'll just do that. It's a wonderful thing to have a dream and see that dream fulfilled. It's a sad thing to take a child to a playground and not really have any equipment that child can play with. And that was kind of the combination of two things that brought about this project. We have a lot of people to thank for their backing, which you've already heard. I want to give a special credit to the fundraising committee because they didn't hesitate to go out into the community and ask for help. I also want to thank the task force that helped design that playground, because we'll know that what this playground is will be serviceable to all children, and that was the goal right from the beginning. I want to give you an example of the community support. I'm not going to give you a name to this because it's just one example and it really represents several people that we talked to. But I called and asked a business for a fairly significant in-kind donation for the construction of the playground. And they didn't hesitate. They donated, and at the end of our conversation, when I'm thanking them profusely, he says to me, "Thank you so much for thinking of us and giving us an opportunity to participate in this project." So that, I think, says volumes about community support. One more example is the Auburn School District. The kids put out for 1 month jars to collect change. They made a presentation to the playground project of just under $1,500. Now, that may be a small percentage of the overall cost, but it was a huge indication of the understanding and support for this very important project. My hope, my continuing hope, will be that playgrounds like this will no longer be an exception, but the standard by which all playgrounds are built, because all playgrounds should include fun for all children. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Lynn. There's almost an endless list of funders that we have here for this project. And Daryl, I know that you've got quite a list as well. But I'm going to introduce just one of them, the VFW. One of the reasons I'm going to do that is their honor guard has guns. As well as the fact that I belong to the VFW, and I know that they would let me know later on. And I know our Councilmember Pelosi would, if they didn't, he would. And I appreciate all your good work, sir. There's so many donations that have been given. And Daryl, I'd like you to make a little comment on another one that was given or talked about just recently. I think that would be good for the folks to hear.
Well, I'll have a quick story. You know, part of the exciting part of this project is we're going to integrate a bunch of boulders into the landscape. And we were thinking about, you know, big rocks up high, like up at the mountain, as they go down into the valley, the rocks get smaller and smaller. So naturally, you'll find out when you send this to your architect, you need about 170 tons of rock. You're like, okay, now where do we go get 170 tons of rock? Well, we ended up with this contact of a new quarry up in Marble Mount. So on Friday, I sent Mike Miller, who needs to be recognized. He's standing here somewhere. He's our park superintendent, and he's just amazing. So I send him up to Marble Mount in the rain, which is like, I'm from Mount Vernon. When you go to Marble Mount, that's like another world. So anyhow, he's up there looking at this quarry that hasn't gotten off the ground yet, and they've got granite, they've got soapstone, they've got every kind of rock you can imagine, and the gentleman is a geologist. And he's so excited about education and children and the rock and the nature of the Northwest. He says, I'll donate all my rock just for the cost of transporting it. This is $20,000 to $30,000 worth of rock. So, and he's not even from here, he's from Marble Mount. And anyhow, so we're going to be able to take this rock and integrate it into our playground, just like the glaciers that tilled this earth centuries ago. So, you know, we're really excited about that. For Mike making the road trip, he told a story, but I'm not going to get into that story. But if you see him, ask him about his story about going to Marble Mountain, having a gate locked behind him and getting taken up onto the back roads. And something about a scene from Deliverance, but it ends there. So anyhow, we are really excited about the cooperation of them. And I see so many people. We made one phone call for irrigation fittings, and the local company comes through. A phone call for railing systems, and Mickey at Quality Fence comes through. A phone call for topsoil, a local firm comes through. A call for Icon Materials, a call for Miles. You could go on and on with almost everybody in this audience. With the Boeing Employees Fund that donated, what, $12,000 or $15,000 for kids with disabilities. So everybody we've asked has come through. This has been the greatest program for having to ask, because capital campaigns are really difficult in this time. And this just shows the value of this to the community. So everybody came together, and I thank you so much. June 25th, come back here. It's Kids Day. There will be kids all over this park surprised by the ribbon cutting for what's the greatest playground around. So thank you all very much for coming. Thanks again for coming, and we'll see you on the 25th of June. It'll be an amazing day.